like I said, I want to look into the stuff for the eyes, but I have to do a little bit rewiring because the Wiimotes that I'm using, the microcontroller, only has one ground. So here I need a I can take that one ground into a splitter, and that splitter can just give me several grounds on one. That's not a problem. Same with the 5 volts. If I need another thing going on 5 volts, I can split the 5 volts also going up, because it only has one 5 volt and one ground. And if I want to connect a PIR, a motion sensor, that needs usually a 5 volts. The 3 volts is not enough. But I could do the same there and just split them up, and that functions properly. Checked with a entertainer friend of mine who I started learning all this stuff from, and I went through his mind a little bit yesterday just to understand a little bit more. And I'm getting there. I'm starting to be satisfied with what I'm making. It's some tweaks here and there just to make sure nothing's wrong. I don't break anything. That's like my main concern now, just making sure that everything works and I don't break stuff. Because if you break stuff, it's costs. It's a lot of money, which can ultimately, and considering we live in Norway and you don't get this stuff in Norway, just like this pneumatic tubing is, you can't find it. Same with this one, can't find it. DC 5 volts, 1 amp, difficult to find. 12 volts, you can get them. That's not the worst part. But if you want to power a wiper motor, which is a very common thing in entertaining Halloween props. Sorry, my cat is playing with a different cat under my car. These two are usually good buddies, but my cat, the orange one, yeah, he's been a little bit weird lately, so I think somebody beat him up. No damage to him. We checked him several times, but he's been a little bit more cozy, a little bit more inside. Hi, Puss. Look at that beautiful little fucker. Yeah, walk away. So yeah, if you need to power a wiper motor for something just spinning around or making a continuous motion, which wiper motors are the best for, you can buy wiper motors, that's not a problem, but powering them outside of a car that's not a battery and, well, the entire electrical system that a car has, and you just want to connect it to a wall outlet, basically. It is a 12 volt, but it's a 12 volt 5 amps. You also connect it differently. And to do this, you gotta, the 12 volt 5 amps wall plug does not exist in stores in Norway. I've checked, I've triple checked, I've quadruple, I don't know the other ooples checked, but I've double checked. I don't find them. And I talked to my entertainer friend. And he's like, yeah, no, it's, you can't find it, it's no possible. Not even in professional places, amateur places, hobby shops, nothing. If you could find them, they're stupid expensive. If you could find them. I haven't found any yet, and he's tried to find them, and he is much more on a professional level than I am. So yeah, that's AliExpress, Amazon. Thankfully, they deliver to Norway. Just go through there, search for 12 volts, 5 amps, 12V, 5A. and you get them. So this is 12 volt 5 amp. Let's see, 12 volt 5 amp output. Input 100 volt 240. That's like the common one. At least you have in Norway. I have the European plug. To remember, there's a difference between American and European plug. So this is the EU plug, which it says in AliExpress and or Amazon. And here you have a wiper motor, which I have fitted with the DC plug. Let's see. And usually you would do like ground would be connected to the chassis in the car. But here you just go directly into the plugs that you have here in the back. I'm using what's called in Norway kabelsko, cable shoes, directly translated. I don't know the English word for it. You take some free wiring, just stuff them in there. If you can, solder it in place. I can't see it. Yep, sorry. By the way, that's how you do it. Funny enough, the just independent DC plugs, female and male, like the round ones that you see I plug everything into, those you can get in Shelling Company mostly. I haven't seen any other stores selling them, so if you are in Norway, Shelling Company has them. They also have Arduinos, but they're very often sold out of Arduino kits and different Arduino modules. But yeah, Amazon, AliExpress, search what you need, Google, YouTube. Everything I've learned is from YouTube and from my friends. It's like the tiny little details. Like I said earlier with Slimy, I'm going on a rant. I have to quit soon. I have to pack for a trip with my kid and my these pneumatic valves also not found in Norway. Same with the muffler that I had to. You get this. You have to order them separately. You don't usually get that with the valve. You just get these and these plugs. Make sure you get the pack. That's usually the easiest. When you hook this up and you just have the wire, just have the tubing, and the tubing is not connected to a rod or an actuator or an actual, let's call it a machine or equipment that is pneumatic based, the air will just flow out. It will just out of A constantly. And you won't be able to test it with for example this. You see, because I still have connected to air. I could just press this little button. And it goes down. And it's still going up slowly because that's what I've set on the muffler. The exhaust. It's I've set it so it goes up slowly, but the regular exhaust like this one just drops it down. Might have to put in exhaust here to slow it down because it's coming down a little bit too hard. I think it's getting bent. I have to look into it. But yeah. Now, if you are thinking about doing something pneumatic, if you just want to have like a pipe blowing into people, there's no pneumatic tool for that I could find. You just get the tubing, connect it to everything you need to. You can and you can actually just what you do is you automatically the air comes out of A. So what you do, it constantly goes into A. So that's a constant that pushes. So now it's like constantly pushing the rod down to keeping it down. Second I press this button, the air comes out of B, and B, as you see, goes down, which then would automatically push the rod up. Release the button, the air goes into A again, and the rod goes down. Right? A is up, B is down, and of course, just common sense, B would push up, A would push down. And there's no problem switching this. You can connect B into top one and A into top one, and you can actually just have it constantly stay up and just drop down. Maybe I'll do that with slimy instead. Either way, if you want to just like blow air in people's necks, which I'm also thinking about doing as they're coming through my doorway, I'm gonna set up like a concoction up there. Concoction. It's not a brew. You can just tie off A. You just bent it like. See. Take this is for example A, and you just tie it off, bend it off like that. Take a zip tie and just tighten that bastard up. Otherwise, it's just gonna go on and on and on and just waste air, and the machine's gonna constantly just work and work and work and work. When you press the button, this one, the air comes out of B instead, because A is closed. It has to come out of B. So then you can use that to like blow air in people's necks, especially if you're using one of these valves. You can get the single channel valves with a built-in bigger button even. So that shouldn't be a problem. If this is the valve you got, because this is the more versatile one, absolutely. That's how you do that. You tie off A. If you want to blow air in people's necks as they're walking through, you can do that with a motion sensor. Just time that perfectly with a little bit fixing here and there, and the correct coding. So A is closed, so you can't get any air through that, just like a garden hose, you know. And then when people walk through, the button gets activated. Either somebody presses it, or you have, like I said, the PIR motion sensor, which then activates the microcontroller and sets and turns it on, or presses the button like in here automatically, and the air comes out of B, and that is the air that blows into people's necks. That was how slimy works and how a lot of pneumatics works, which I only learned in the last couple of weeks. I think my entertainer friend, who is much more wise in this stuff than I am, and better at programming and all that stuff, because he's been doing it for literally decades. And he's an American living in Norway, and he does I know. I got this hoodie working there the second year, I think. Yeah, learn a lot from him. And I learn a lot from YouTube. That's the YouTube stuff is a little bit like stuff I was a little bit embarrassed to ask about, but don't be embarrassed to ask about it. I had to ask my brother-in-law for some deeper understanding of electronics because or electricity because he's an electrician. But I asked my entertainer friend for all like this kind of entertainer stuff, Halloween stuff. How do I program this? How do I connect this? For example, with the ground and the 5 volts I was talking about earlier, if you want to run 2, maybe 3 different 5 volt stuff out of one program card, you can just split it. Take one wire into the ground, take it into a splitter, and just no matter how many splitters you want, how big it is, you can split it. How far I can split it, I'm not gonna say, but he said, but if I said I wanted to run 2 different things, he said, yeah, that's fine. He does that all the time. So yeah, that's Slimy. He's functioning fine. I'm gonna check the stuff on the bracket and stuff, so I'm not hurting the rod when he's crashing down. Might just, I think I said it earlier, might just take the rod, unscrew it, and just gently, like a centimeter, about half an inch, about a quarter of an inch, just put it down gently more, just a quarter of an inch down, just to stop it from crashing into the actual actuator. Because that can do damage, probably more damage than I want to put it through. I don't want to put it through damage at all. It wasn't that expensive, but it's expensive enough. I don't want to ruin it. So yeah, remember to take care of your stuff. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Not sure if I'm gonna make a video on. Not sure if I'm gonna add the part after I lowered the actuator by the quarter inch, which is 12 millimeters, 1.25 millimeters in for the rest of the world. Quarter inch is roughly 1.25 millimeters. That's a quarter inch. Not sure if I'm gonna film that or show that in the final product of the video. If you watched the video and you liked it and it was informational, it should be. I went on a bit rant there because I recently learned it and it was so much fun, and I couldn't find this information other than what I learned from my entertaining friend. And I want to share this. I want to make sure that people understand that not maybe people like me starting out and they want to go a little bit big, like I'm doing with my homemade pneumatic stuff for the very first time. I'm having a lot of fun learning this. I'm having even more fun actually making stuff happen. And nothing is saying kaboom so far. And remember, I'm not a professional. Electric stuff, take everything I say with a big grain of salt. I'm not that smart when it comes to electricity. But I've learned enough to feel safe doing this kind of stuff for myself. If you're unsure, talk with an electrician friend. Talk with an electrician that you just meet at the bar. And remember, this is, Svagström. It's nothing I use is higher than a 12 volt 5 amp. That is the strongest I'm using. And that's for like the wiper motors, which I'm not even sure if I'm gonna use this year, because I think you see, I have a small garden. It's 30 square meters of use. Gonna have like a control board in here. Look at this mess, huh? Oh my god. And a control board, which I'm gonna run a few things, I'm guessing. There's been a few cats here. This is the Hall of Darkness, which I have a pneumatic pressured air going through here. You can see here the line going here and into the roof and into one of those white tubings, which creates a strong sound, which I'm just gonna physically control the timing of. That's gonna be just me controlling everything. We'll see how that turns out, but yeah, thank you for watching. Leave a like. I'm not asking for a subscription, I'm just sharing information. Leave a like, leave a comment if you do anything. That's always entertaining. Halloween is a community thing. Like I'm doing this for the children. I want to show them that you can do other stuff than buying toys, and you can do stuff at home. But like I said, you gotta order stuff off of AliExpress. So if you're a kid watching this, talk to your parents about buying stuff. Okay, shit gets really expensive really fast. Happy Halloween.